And if all settings are well, we should be
Yes.
live.
I can
Oh,
see our faces,
wonderful.
so
Woo!
everything works. And we
Yeah.
have a cat.
And a dog.
No!
No, cat goes away. Dog is just sleepy
The
baby.
cat has escaped.
Cat. Ada-chan has left the building. No, wait. Not the
I
building.
think that cat took levels in Rogue.
Yes. Although her main class is Bard because she's goddamn adorable and she sings like most of her waking hours. So, yeah.
A Bard Rogue multiclass is not a bad one.
No,
Actually, a very good one.
Assassin Bard with Assassin Rogue with a Whisper Bard. Yeah. Okay then. Anyways, we are here.
Anyways.
We are D&D. Yes. So welcome to the Chronicle of Lumainvoir Emissaries campaign. Our English-speaking group with fine and dandy people I have around me once again. So the emissaries are a group of ragtag academics and mercenaries and living artifacts times two. And you have made your way to the province of Reedhold because Yawande's family has issues there, or rather, someone has issues with the family. And because Yawande's cousin Inken has decided that Yawande's mothers and fathers clan should not be together connected via this marriage. And this cousin Inken has decided to destroy the families and start a war or something. You're not sure yet, but you know that he's threatening both families. And with the help of your new friend Professor Belmont, you made your way to the University of Reedhold because you heard that Inken might be around there. And as it so happens, Inken, being a graduate student, he has been researching things in the university. So you just basically marched in and bullshitted your way to the university library, where you found Inken just being his shady self. Shady self.
This is just
Yes.
perfect.
In addition to TB and Yawande, you have with yourself two Warforged, the sentient artifact formerly known as the Vessel of Deliverance, i.e. Kintsugi, and the Warforged Bard Saxton, who just because Saxton collects stories and performs to people, and both options, or the group enables both options.
Yes.
Yes.
We basically adopted them.
Yep. It was like, I am going in the same direction as you. Oh, my quest is over. I shall accompany you. And now we have Saxton.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's...
Yeah, and if I don't feel like I've missed any important details.
So far.
You're all good.
Yes.
What? Let's see. If this works...
My bot is acting up.
You can still hear me?
Yes?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
Okay then. So, Reedhold, formerly the independent nation of Arundurisen. Well, independence. The independence was a thing for about 1,000 years ago. So, but cultural roots and national identity runs very deep in the honor and folklore traditions of Arundurisen or Reedhold. They have their own culture, and own language just hidden beneath the surface of compliance to the theocracy that rules Lumainvoir.
Could it be thought
you-
that it's like indigenous culture of the region, just hidden?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, officially, everyone in Reedhold pays their taxes and pays probably lip service to the priests of Omnold or the priest of the theocracy, but they do worship their ancestors and specific god or divine beings to this area. For example, the Triumvirate or the Three Liberators, who saved the world from illithids and have been a huge cultural symbol. Especially the Orichalcum Harbinger has been a great big hero deity person to Reedhold for like thousands of years. You found yourself in the port city of Gaishosai, which is built in the fork of the great river Ogama on an artificial island with 4 heavy-built high stone bridges made of stone and decorated with wood, reeds, and plants. There's a lot of docks and harbor area because, well, there's a lot of trade in here. And there was a faint whiff of sea air and natural sense of the jungle because Reedhold is very tropical. There's a lot of like jungle vegetation outside. And because Reedhold is a very it makes a lot of its money on tourism. Many plants and countless bundles of reeds are adorning street signs and corners of the quaint 1 to 2 story buildings that make up most of the regular city. And of course, because it is an artificial island in the middle of a ginormous river, there's a lot of fishing and a lot of like fish related business and symbols.
Fishy business.
Fishy business, yes. Speaking of which, it is rumored that Reedhold has some business with the damn it, I forgot a cool name. Just a sec. I've had a couple of insomnia nights, so I'm not at the most sharpest of my face. The Galaroth League. The Galaroth League is a league of extraordinary businessmen. It is rumored that the Galaroth League takes money wherever they can get it. If it means breaking a couple of laws, then whatever. And they do have, like, for example, Almond's family have some ties to the league. Almond's family is known as trouble solvers. You have a trouble, you give them money, trouble disappear. How? It's not your problem.
If you ask their help, don't ask questions.
Yeah, pretty much.
much.
But Galaroth League, like, very few people have any proof against their actions, and in Reedhold they don't even care because the traditions working with the cooperation between Reedhold and the Galaroth League goes back thousands of years. So it is just whatever. And the Galaroth League also has a lot of caravans and ships where they legitimately bring things to people that people need. Like, northern people need different sorts of woods to keep themselves warm in the winter, and southern people might need like minerals, and the Galaroth League just like mediate and merchant the hell out of this symbiotic relationship.
It's pretty much the logistic network.
Yes, the biggest issue with the Galaroth League is the fact that they they answer very little, if at all, to the theocracy, and that's why they rub the theocracy the wrong way, and that's why the theocracy considers them illegal, but people who need their help probably don't, because why would you? Yeah. So the streets of Gaishasai are covered with this thin layer of rock and stone, and most of the buildings are as well. You do know, actually, the locals, i.e. Yewande and Tibi, know that most of the buildings' inner workings are made of wood and reed and like light materials, because once again, artificial island. And yeah, so many of the city's buildings show their wooden refined walls with some decorations of metals here and there. The university and other government buildings stick out with their different color surfaces, like just plaster and things. The university's walls are covered with stripes of azure, gold, and ruby, made of mineral dust and mixed with said plaster. There was a decently sized crescent-shaped park surrounding the main door, which is 10 meters tall and has an engraving of the three liberators. A man dressed in a thick armor with feather decorations and a scythe, a woman with a fighting cloak and a chakram, and a big hairy man with two pistol-like weapons. These are the three liberators who, according to legend, saved the world from the Illithids thousands of years ago, and like I said, they're very popular. Like Bruce Lee in the internet's popular. I would have compared him to Chuck Norris of old, but he's just not anymore. But yeah, you had your stealth wagon and your fancy wagon. You had borrowed Alma, not on the laptop, dearie.
He wants to play.
Yes. Well, you can play, dearie. You, because Almond's parents are very rich, you borrowed one of their wagons, which is very fancy and color, like decorated with metals and things. And Tibi and Yewande got in by using Tibi's status as a professor in the university. Meanwhile, Almond, and actually Kintsugi was in the cart as well, pretending to be a sentient artifact, or just like
pretending to be myself, basically.
Yes, LARPing yourself.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Saxton and Almond made their way through a stealthier way, basically through the back doors to the university. And there you talked. Tibi fixed herself up with a lab, research room, so you could study the mystical artifact that you had conveniently found, Kintsugi. And you got yourself one of the, like, most of the. There's a university, like the visible area for like students and visiting professors and like the public areas. And then you have the back room for researchers and labs and that sort of literature that you really, really don't want the church to see. And you got yourself into the back room areas, or the back halls mainly, because the back room area, there's this ginormous turning area for like people drove in with carts, unpacked and continued on. And there was several layers, several stories with like bigger and smaller isolated laboratory and research facilities, which people can just buy for themselves or use as needed. Very little questions, if any, are asked. There's this sort of drop zone area where you just parked your carts and then carried. Then you got Trulvein to carry Kintsugi to the lab. After which Kintsugi I recall, use disguise self to continue following Yawanda
Yep.
and Tibi to the
Turned
university
into an assistant.
library. Yes.
Which is
And,
actually quite amusing.
Yep.
Since we basically have 3 like scientist assistant people and 1 from a noble family in a sort of a way.
Yep.
At the moment.
That's true. You came to the drop zone area, the laboratory's floors, and you got information that Inken had studied something concerning the Edlan myths. Edlan is this mythical creature, person, something or other that supported the three liberators. What or who Edlan is unclear. Like, there's a lot of theories, but what they are, no one knows for sure. And you got to the university library, which is like insanely old, and you can see immediately, especially considering that there's a gate to Index Dracorum, which is the multi-dimensional library to dragons. Because Index dragons are dragons that hoard knowledge, and they have a multi-dimensional library. And the fact that there's a gate from here to Index Dracorum tells that this library has been here for an insane amount of time. The closest estimate is close to 10,000 years, but no one knows for sure because the Illithids attacked and held the world for thousands of years, and many things got disappear basically in this Illithid apocalypse. Illithid apocalypse. You know what I mean.
Illithid apocalypse.
Illithid apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's a tongue twister in a way.
Yes. Because they do cerebromorphism, so it would be on I don't know. Anyways,
Yes.
Illithid apocalypse.
Brain twister.
Yes, and there's areas for like just the public areas and the backstage of the university both lead to the university, but depending on your status and your quote-unquote key card, you can get to the deeper part of the university, as for example Tibi can. But just in the public areas of the university, you found out Inken was there just studying, and there you one day confronted her tormentor, maybe. Oh, by the way, did you want to tell of Inken's little task to you? Have you told the others yet?
I have a faint recollection of... No, wait, I think Yawanda told her parents. But I'm not
probably
sure.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I... No, wait, yeah, at least Tibi knows about my staff, because they were in the same room as me when Yawanda...
Kinzuki was also there about the staff.
Yeah, okay, in that case I think everyone knows.
Yep.
Yep.
So, Yawanda has a piece of a staff, and Inken was the one who sent you up north to find more about what the staff is and or if there's more of it.
Basically a suicide mission.
Yeah.
I mean, if she would have, in short, probably.
Oh boy.
Just delegating me to do the legwork for his crappy coursework or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but he used the fact that he could make trouble for your family as blackmail, and he's made trouble for her family anyway. So
But now we can settle this finally. Wonderful.
Yep. Yeah. So, the air is is not stagnant but very heavy, with like this dusty, almost musky scent of thousands of books, dampening all noise with their leathery backs and old secrets. You can feel thousands of years of history just almost leaning on top of you when you inside this inside the library. On your left
Such a
side there is
wonderful place.
yes.
It
Kibi
would be a
feels very
real
much at home.
shame
Kintsugi,
if
no
there happened to be a
fireballs.
fireball
No
accident here.
fireballs.
Speaking
Bad
of
Kintsugi. Bad
contingencies, on your left side you can see the normal library round info desk thing with a very old elven librarian who looks at you guys with a little bit of a... I mean, he knows Professor Belmont, and he's like, okay. But the rest of you, he looks at a little bit suspiciously. And on your right side, next to the gate to Index Dracorum, is an Index Dragonborn librarian with clearly like magical talents. Like the Dragonborn is sitting behind their own desk, reading a book, which just like not even touching it. The book rests on their lap, and they just waft their swing their claw, and the pages of the book just like
Keep turning.
yes.
I truly hope that neither one of them have true sight. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No!
DM's face is
In-
scary.
By the way, a fun fact about the Index Dragons. Young Index Dragons' scales are the color of parchment, but the older they get, the more of the scales start turning into the color of ink. So, yeah. And it is said that when you're old enough and your scales are ink, the ink-colored scales start getting figures of like white text and symbols over the blackness.
Yep.
So,
Nice.
and like the scales don't turn fully black, but just have like writing and glyphs and symbols and things.
They are very fun dragons. Especially
Yep.
once you give them a nice donation.
Yep. It is said that you can barter with Index Dragons. If you know something that they don't know, you can trade it for something that they do know.
Yep.
Or just
yeah.
tell them something they know, but in a way they haven't heard it yet.
That's also a way.
And it doesn't matter. It can be a random tidbit about a random person in a random village. It might be a random story or dream or whatever. It's knowledge that they don't have, they want it.
It can literally be a joke made up in the moment.
Mhm.
Did you know that
It's been
Margaret from the next village over is having an affair with our blacksmith?
Oh no, gossip dragons!
Gossip Dragons, yes. Dibs.
I want gossip dragons.
The Index Dragons' lesser known cousins that they don't like to talk about.
Yes.
Most likely.
Yes.
Yeah,
How
and that,
species they don't want to talk about.
and that's canonized.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
When we're done with index dragons, I want to go talk to gossip dragons.
Well, they are like, they are to gossip dragons are to Index Dragons that what fairy dragons are to normal dragons. So don't wish anything in their presence, 'cause, well, fairy magic.
So, basically, is there a way from their place to Feywild? Or something like that?
Maybe
Or can you find them in the Feywild?
you can certainly try. But
Oh
yeah,
no.
you're standing in the middle of the common area of the university library. You basically, even though the party got split, you found each other in the main, entrance hall of the university, of the library. You came from the backstage area from narrow hallways filled with some books on the walls, bookshelves with random books. You're face to face with Inken, a very book pencil-necked, bookish type of elf, looking say 35-ish. So because an elf that would turn like 200 years or something, but similar to 35-ish year human male. Sleek hair and a very whatchamacallit, sort of first impressions is that you might not want to trust this person. Round glasses and this sort of a little bit of crouching sort of he looks like he's gnawing and just like reaching for yes. And with a little bit of a hunch, you can see that he's spent very much in the hunching, reading, researching position, and he's wearing a very worn-looking cloak. Like the cloak's probably been some color at some point of time, but now it's just like the beige of something that has lost all color. And then he has a belt with like chains with like knickknacks, keys, and a clock, and pieces of stone, and ink bottle with a lock and a pen hanging from his belt. In his hand, he's carrying a very thick, very old-looking book, like we're talking 15 centimeters times like 40 centimeters, so a foot-ish.
Huge.
Yep.
Well, I'm surprised Auntie Karandra lets you walk around in those kinds of robes.
I told her that I need robes that can be expendable. Speaking of expendable, how did your mission to the north go?
Oh, I had a jolly good time.
I can see that. Did you find anything interesting?
Can't say. Not really.
Pity. So my motivational speech didn't work, and now I need to put my plan into motion. Maybe next time you would listen to your elders.
Listen to a scrawny little scared crybaby like you, sure.
Ronnie, maybe, but that's okay because everything I need is in here. Professor Belmont, why do you associate yourself with this sort of rabble? Shouldn't you have important studying and research to do? Not studying anymore since, well, you're a professor, but research doesn't check itself.
Isn't it kind of rude to talk to your superiors like that?
Yeah, you know I'm a professor. So, how about you show some respect?
I was, didn't mean.
Are you trying to question my methods and my research and how I'm doing my research?
No.
Is that what you're trying to do?
I am merely bringing into question the present company.
I am well equipped to choose my own company, thank you very much.
I know. Everyone roll a perception check.
Yoinks.
Alright.
I'm not present at the
Finally.
location I'm using for the book.
Trying
I
to...
might, whether or not I've found it, I might be on my way.
I'll be using the
11.
dice again.
Alright, wait, perception.
Let's see. And please,
Here we
dice,
go.
don't fail me now. Yoinks!
1d10.
Well, that's actually not that bad.
3.
Perception was
Cool.
4, so that's 21 total.
Yep.
Rolled a 17.
Yep.
Wait,
Yoink.
did I write that
But that comes up to
correctly?
11, luckily.
Is that actually correct? Like, I used the bot and
No.
put...
You roll a.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 1d20.
Yeah. I've been playing too much Exalted and
deep.
Vampire.
Yeah.
Alright. Now
that's
I
better.
threw correct one.
That's better.
Yeah. I
Uh,
get a 17.
Yep. Yawanda and Kintsugi. I mean, everyone can hear Inken muttering to himself something, but it's like the words are somewhat lost when he's like covering his mouth to fix his glasses. You can hear him muttering, "Well, everyone needs their research Everyone needs their research subjects, I suppose."
Wow.
Excuse me? I didn't quite catch you there. You know it's
nothing.
polite to not hold your hand over your mouth when you're speaking to someone.
I need to get my glasses fixed. They're a little loose. Yawanda got herself a very mean look when with that word. I believe I have used enough of your time, and I really need to return to my research. Almost like trying to wave the 20-kilo book around, but failing.
Are you sure you don't need any help with that pile of books?
No, he's just has just one, but it's like thick and big. Sure, I can handle. You could just go walk up and down the mountain as your families usually does.
Belmont. Should we ask Incan to check on the new relic we found, or is that a bad topic right now?
Oh
Sure.
yes. Actually, I did find something
That
interesting.
new strange artifact.
Yes, would you like to see it? It's very interesting.
He was just about turning away, and then he turns back, and you can see the reflections of a nearby magical light. You can see the reflections in his round eyes, and giving his eyes him a very greedy impression of him. Oh, what sort of artifact?
How should I describe it? It seemed to be like, when you brought it in, it looked like some sort of a mechanical, hulking monstrosity almost. It was a bit dusty and seemed to be rusty as well, but it...
Yeah, it
seemed
looked
functioning.
very old.
Yeah, and its core seemed to be mostly intact, which was
And they were
very disturbing to look at.
multidimensional.
Yeah, it was very disturbing
And
to
it
look
seemed
at.
to resonate a lot with the artifact I was given.
You can see Incan. Thus far, he's been a little but like whatever. But at the mention of artifact and resonance, he's got like,
Yeah, it's currently in our research lab that we have.
You see he's scratching his chin, and he's like,
It'd be
He
very
snaps-
good for your academic prowess to help Professor Belmont with the research.
Quiet. He snaps his finger, and you can hear a pitter patter of something walking on very small but several legs, and you can feel sort of small presence beside Inken. He takes the book, sets it down seemingly on empty air, but the book holds position on air, and he just like starts scrolling the book with a mage, and he's like muttering to himself, where is it? Here. And then he opens the book and looks, artifact, and starts muttering to himself, partly like partial sentences in common Elven and like the traditional language of Reedhold. Arundian. Let's call it Arundian because that's easier.
Let's do that.
And you hear single words, but it's more of a train of thought thing. So wait, resonated with the staff, and that it was found in up north.
Yes.
Someone roll me a persuasion check
Okay.
with advantage, because assisting.
If it's with advantage, should I, since I have a +7 on that?
Actually, because
Alright.
actually TB or Yawan, actually it should be TB who's rolling, because TB is the only one.
Well, I still got a
who-
5.
Yeah.
With advantage.
TB roll persuasion with advantage because TB is the only one Inken would listen to.
11.
Oh boy.
Did you roll 2 dice and pick the bigger one?
The first one was 5.
Oh boy.
I got a 5.
I'm not good at this! This is not my expertise.
Kitsuki is literally trying to pretend to be like some sort of like new researcher or like a student that's like just getting into the field. Very anxious yet very excited at the same time.
Yeah.
The core piece was really strange. Like, it was honestly, best words to speak, it was multidimensional bluish. It kind of gave
You
this
have to see it to
sort of
understand.
spectral glow. And the machinery is something I myself haven't even seen. It's very antique, so to speak.
Machinery? It was part of something bigger?
Most likely, it seems to be somewhat in pieces.
That's
Of
what
course
we're
it is
assuming.
Of
It
course
doesn't
is in
look
pieces.
like it's complete.
Of course it couldn't be complete, because if it would be complete, then the entering train of thought mode, and he's muttering to him. Yeah. That would mean that compared to this, considering that maybe shape theory, etc. I'm sorry, the cat fell asleep and just she's distracting me.
Yes.
But
Would this be
Inken
a
is
dramatic enough moment for me to step
Yes.
in, having
Yes.
just conveniently arrived?
yes, because if nothing else, bards have a dramatic entrance.
So suddenly you hear, Professor Belmont, how long has it been? And you see a very professor-looking person with a face, not a mask. Obviously, you probably recognize the voice. Professor Belmont, how wonderful to see you again. I have heard. He actually goes and hugs you.
Yeah.
As you
And
leave,
TB just face full of sunshine.
Yay!
wonderful to see you again. I had to come all the way from the College of Bards about that little artifact you mentioned.
Oh, yes. It's so interesting. We were just talking about Incan here about it.
Oh, really? This must be young Master Incan.
I don't know if I must be that
You're
I
much less
am.
brighter than I thought. And a happy dresser, I must say.
Yes.
Good boy, learn to put on some clothes. Even if you are, and you have expendable clothes, you should at least put in some effort to look the part. They want to be remembered, this boy, they want to be remembered as the grand know-it-all of history.
Nanikore. You can see Inken's eyes have gone more and more narrow, and now his face is a combination of loathing but also sort of a feigned respect for this professor level random person.
And you note, Saxon is deliberately as close in
Okay.
personal space as they can.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
they say the
yeah.
whole, you want to remember as the piss boy part, they're practically holding them over the shoulder, and their face is practically glued to their face.
Space, what is
Oh.
that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this professor joined us from
Reykjavik! Professor Reykjavik of the College of Bards, pleasure to meet you. You must be
Yes.
Yewande, I believe.
Ah yes, I'm
It's
Professor
Belmont.
Belmont's
Hello.
assistant.
Assist. Inken just like stutters, but then like they do this sort. He does this sort of, and then looks up and gets a little red because, well, you should respect your professors, even though if you
Yeah.
dislike them. Then he continues scrolling the like.
Well, we were just about to go and see the artifact in question. Would you like to join us now, my dear friend?
Well, speak up, boy. After all, if you are to keep mum about, you might as well go home. Practice the art of mummery, perhaps. Are you coming or not? Chop, chop, let's go!
Sorry.
Yeah, I think we all need a
Thank you,
moment.
Saxton! Thank you!
Well done, Saxon.
Chop,
Well
chop.
done.
No
Emotional
lollygagging about. Let's go, let's go! Let's go, 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 go!
Yes!
And they start actually walking towards the room we agreed upon.
Yes.
How
the
much
lab.
psychic damage did they take from
You
that?
might actually notice is not actually going exactly. They're not going exactly in the right direction. As in, they just picked a direction and started walking towards it.
Yeah.
Kintsugi remembers the
I
room,
just remember
so...
Saxon wasn't there when you placed the artifact.
Yeah, you know where the research facility is. So you take you take a general direction to the right wing area.
Kintsugi basically like dashes like ahead of them to basically show the way to the right room in like a panicky assistant manner.
Yeah.
Tibi tries to keep up with her short legs.
Yeah. You can hear this sort of
slows enough so Tibi can walk at the same pace.
you hear the sort of thumping noise when a 20-kilo book just like closes, and Inken starts jogging after you, and then you can hear a growling, sort of like a draconic person does this sort of throat clearing gesture, and then Inken is like, "What? What do you want?" You can hear the Dragonborn librarian be like, "We didn't agree that you borrow that." And then Inken's like, "Oh, right." And then he returns the book to the Dragonborn, who's just like leaning in and not even looking at Inken, just like scrolling their book. But then Inken gives back the book that they had been reading. He'd been reading and puts it on the info desk and just turns red like a tomato, and just like.
Is it all right if I
bows.
took with me a book of Arundian?
Yeah,
that I was looking for?
you found the basics of Arindian.
Yeah.
Thank God someone came in and managed to bullshit enough that Inken will come with us.
In case you're wondering, the name is written like this.
Yeah. Reykjavik.
Actually, I could put it on the... because it's the same.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Once
I'm gonna
again,
put
we're
this-
getting away with this, with just talking.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
wait, we're getting to the, how do you say it? Mullu?
Yeah, we
It's
will.
coming.
But,
It's
we'll
coming.
be getting away with murder with just talking in a moment.
Moider. Yep.
I can't wait to get into
yeah.
the lab. The second the door closes, some kind of, like, noise, cancellation magic into the room and then
Well, you can-
okay, now we're here.
You can always you can try and you can always request for a noise dampening field, because that's a thing.
The as they walk towards the research lab,
Yeah.
Reykjavik just keeps discussing this and that, simple small talk with Professor Belmont. Simple, as if they're all acquaintances that haven't seen each other in a long time.
Just discussing what they've been doing, where they've been going, what they've found.
And as a side mention, Professor Belmont, you must put me in contact with whomever designed that belt of yours. It is
I'm sure I
exquisite.
will. Thank you so much. I really like it.
It's wonderful. It's leather work.
Oh yeah, actually, Professor Belmont,
Yes.
when we first found the artifact and we tried to activate it, it really made a lot of ruckus. If we are about to try to research it more here, wouldn't the other professors, students, and staff be quite disturbed by the noise if we activate it in the lab?
You are so very practical. This is why I keep you around. We definitely need some noise dampening there.
Or we could just prepare with the correct spells and restrain the artifact.
Oh, trust me, we tried. Professor Javi can confirm that. We tried everything up north.
Well,
But
we could also.
where it's so simple that a simple matter of preparation of spells and music would be all the key. Would we really be sitting here requiring a state-of-the-art laboratory? For this purpose, we would have done it out in the field.
Or we could just get there are some tool veins here. We could just have a big tool vein just sit on the artifact so it doesn't move. Tool veins, as a
It's
reminder,
not just
are
the outsides of things that make noise. There are insides to things that make noise that we can't restrain just by having the object itself be stationary.
Yeah, and also the
Yeah.
machinery inside is the main thing making all the noise. It's not.
But
the
you should really
artifact
go out
moving.
to the field more so you would know these things.
I have had family drama in the immediate vicinity that has been tying my travelings, but one way or another, drama will be unfolded, and I will be free to roam around the world as I do see fit.
You really should. It's wonderful out there.
Have you heard of this wonderful new pastime, Incan? And Master Incan, have you heard of this wonderful new pastime called touching grass? I hear it's quite popular these days for shuttles. To take a moment, go outside, take a good breather of that cold, fresh air. Feel the grass, feel the wind, whistle as it goes by your ear.
Go, Saxton, go!
I really feel that Saxton here has got note to your character sheet that you have a 1d6 DM inspiration. It works like a normal inspiration die. You can use it to whatever, but it is you have it until you use it because you just broke the entire group down. You deserve it, man.
1d6.
I'm honestly
1d6.
surprised that wasn't a vicious mockery.
Yep.
I'm gonna fucking
Hey.
cry.
Emotional damage!
That was a mockery. That was a simple statement of fact.
Yeah. Inken, as a very indoorsy researcher with very bad situational, he's very like bad in social situations is just like nodding and so yes.
Yes, touching grass. Sounds interesting. Is that what
Yes.
the kids are doing these days?
Yes.
Boy, you look really. And by the way, the tone he uses is as if someone talks to a significantly younger person than oneself. And clearly Reykjavik looks like a human. My boy, you should also remember, you're looking a little pale. Are you eating properly? Take some fruit, some greens. Eating that many beans must not be that good for your stomach.
I don't need food, I need answers.
You
Well,
don't
you
need
won't be
sunlight
doing
though.
much without answers if you keep getting sick with scurvy. Take a little moment to meditate out in the sun. Get a little tan.
Make a little noise, get down tonight.
Get down tonight. Make a little love, perhaps.
Good lord.
Because the important part
No.
is stay alive.
Well done.
God.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is why
Yeah,
we have
just
a bard.
Incan.
We needed a bard, clearly.
You don't have a
Bards.
bard, you have the bard.
Indeed we do.
Bards are just the greatest class in the entire game. And just like, yes.
Yep, agreed on that.
Good lord.
Yep. No, bad lord.
Walking
Should we
insult
put in
simulators.
a request for the
Yes.
noise dampening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So you go ask the information desk person for noise dampening into laboratory unit 26,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
she's the same. She's a very librarian-looking elf, very old and very sort of cranky looking. She's like, so you found some dangerous thing that you wanna make. You wanna study by yourself. You can have all the claim to fame. Just, is this something that's gonna explode?
No.
We don't know yet.
Or
But the thing is
It's
that
just very loud.
even
It's very
the
loud.
slightest activation will cause a lot of noise. According
We're
to
not,
our previous experiences when we studied it out in the field up north, it does not start moving. But even the slightest activation of its inner mechanics will cause an incredible ruckus, which will most definitely disrupt everyone on the same floor, the floor above and below.
Imagine like an echoing broken clockwork, like, a cuckoo clock, for example. Like a very big, most likely broken internally.
I think it's pretty cuckoo. I think it's pretty cuckoo that you brought something like that into the school without the proper paperwork.
My dear.
What has happened here? How are you talking like this?
It is
Can
the
you just
library.
get us what we
It's
need?
the library. It's the librarian assistant, not Incan.
Yeah.
Incan wouldn't.
Yeah,
say
I
that.
know. I know.
Good.
My dear.
Just make sure that you don't make sure you don't break the floor like a couple of other people did, because that might do wonders to your academic reputation. So
And
give me a
I am
couple
a
of minutes.
professor, and I have been here for a while.
Mm.
Thank you for your concern, but I do know what I'm doing.
Yes, but you're young and full of fire, but I've seen older academics being too greedy, and I've seen what happens. Like I said, give me a couple of minutes, and don't break the floor.
Wait. And
Kids.
listen, listen. What is a little past bureaucracy among friends? I hold her hand, gently, gently, and she feels once again 2 gold coins. What is a little forgotten bureaucracy among friends, after all?
Like I
And
said,
you
I
should take
really
a break every once in a while. The gods know you've earned it.
just for the fun of it, roll me persuasion check.
Yay!
Meanwhile, Kintsukis takes a small note from the jacket that basically it's an illusion, but still writes down, "Don't break the floor."
Don't
Got
break
it?
the floor! In all caps.
Yep. What about the
Being
roof?
5th edition,
I guess it's the same.
I don't have
Or the
proficiency in
walls.
persuasion,
Yep.
Okay.
but I still use my charisma
Yep.
bonus on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, we were told to not break the floor, but they didn't say anything about the roof or the walls.
Yeah, the interior decorating.
That would
As a
be
person
23.
who would still like to work with
23,
this university, let's just try and not break anything, please.
Okay.
I'll try
Yeah,
my
that-
best. How big is the room actually? That's a very important question here.
Is it bigger or smaller than a fireball?
Basically.
Give the librarian 2 gold coins.
Yeah.
Do that thing.
The golden handshake. Yeah. Yep. She was a very old, very cranky-looking librarian, but then she looks at a professor at Reykjavik's handsome face, and you can just see her melting. She's like, okay, just
And
don't break. Like, do whatever. I'll get you the sound dampening, but don't break the floor because that will raise questions for the architects, and I really don't want to deal with them. You get my drift, honey?
and do not worry. Have a little cold coffee while you're at it. It helps. It helps the complexion.
I assume the same applies for the roof and the walls.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Good to know. Good to know. Very good to know. Note to self: don't break anything.
Ingen starts.
Don't break the room!
Ingen starts looking more and more worried.
Oh boy.
Like, what the hell has he?
should.
You literally have a nuke in a room. What do you expect to happen?
You
And
get
a
to the
very
roof.
angry cousin.
Yep. The librarian tells you that when she sends you, when she sends you a message, the enchantment is in place. So then you can go in and it will be sealed, or noise proofed.
Wonderful.
Rather.
Oh, beans.
How
And-
big was the room, by the way? Is it 40 times 40 or bigger?
Less.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no fireballs. Or we're gonna
Yeah.
burn to a crisp too.
It won't
Or
be
get-
fire. It will be thunder.
Or get deafened with thunder or burnt
Electrocuted with lightning.
yeah,
melted
or
down with
melted with
acid.
acid, whatever.
Poison
But
with
yeah.
a poison cloud.
You get to the
And
with the
do
to-
not
to
break the room. Rule number 2, do not break the party.
Yes.
the room
Is
first.
that second
because-
rule debatable?
Keep the clerics in the back to keep this fire sailing hardy. The wizard
yeah.
in the middle where he can shed some light. And you never let that damn thief out of sight.
Yes.
I'm not a thief, though. I'm something worse.
Yes. So it take a couple. You walk to the laboratory 27 or 26.
26.
26.
That you 26, yes. And you wait for a couple of minutes, and then Tibby hears. Well, you can hear a telepathic message from the research person in question that the enchantment is in place.
We're good to go.
Woo!
The room itself is 30 by 30 feet, so 10 meters by 10 meters. There's a couple of tables where you can just very heavily built stone tables couple of sets of tools, like archaeology tools, and then like this smaller set of almost medicinal type tools. And you open the door, and Inken like checks, like just barely sees inside, and is like, "Wait, there's nothing inside the room," and takes half a step away.
Grab him! Grab him! Quick! Kitsuki! Do the thing!
But the box is still there, isn't it? The box is still on
Yeah,
the
the
table
box
where
is
we left
in
it.
there.
Because we
yes,
unlocked
that's true.
the box
Yes.
is still there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't. He takes half a step and then he notices the box. And, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, it's in the box. Okay, I thought it was. Oh, never mind. Never mind. And then he walks inside, and you get the door closed like a trap. You hear. You almost hear the voice of a bear trap just like closing, or maybe a
Yes.
tomb.
Okay, are we going to have a break now before?
I was
Ham
just
goes
about
now?
to say the same. Yes,
Yes.
because
Because
then we will
otherwise
have-
Perfect time for a
going-
break.
you need a break. You need a break before TPK.
Oh,
No.
Yes.
Hey,
Inken is a
TPK?
dragon.
This is at least like a 4 against 1, so.
we don't know that.
Glorious TPK.
There's still
What a
that
glorious combat.
invisible imp somewhere. Or is that an imp? It could be
I don't know
something
what
else.
you guys are thinking about. I was just TPK, Tibi's Practical Clinic. What?
Good point.
Ah!
What were you guys thinking about?
Technically, it's 6-on-1 since we have 2 very hungry blades.
Oh god.
Technically, clinic is spelled with a C, but okay.
Yeah.
It's more fancy if it's with a K.
Okay.
Alright, so
Yeah.
are we gonna have a little break now?
We're gonna go on a small break.
Yes.
Yeah, 15 minutes. See you all then.
Yep.
Bye.
And we're back.
Here we go.
Let's go ham.
Oh
Fuck
boy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, boy. So, for those just joining us, we have a very interesting chain of events just coming up. So, Yawande has this cousin Inken who's in this situation with her and the rest of the party. Inken has threatened both Yawande's parents' family and father's family because he has some shenanigans. You actually don't even know yet what shenanigans. He has sent Yawande to the from here the southern parts of the island to the northern parts in search of very obscure occult information about a very random looking artifact. And after weeks of thinking and planning, you finally have Inken. You are at the university where Tibby is a professor, and with Tibby's charms and status, you got yourself an isolated, soundproof lab or research room, as they're officially known. The door has been closed. You have a murderous warforged and a couple of people with very evil skill, with very sharp social blades. In the room, you have two big tables for two vaguely human-sized tables. Very thick stone, with very sturdy metal legs and structures. There's a set of archaeologist tools like hammers and chisels and things. There's another set of smaller, more subtle tools like brushes and scalpel-like knives.
Torture time!
We're not turning this into a torture room. We're not.
I was just thinking like what they do in school when they have frogs on the table.
Yeah.
No,
No
not for that,
dissecting anyone.
no. More
It would be
more
fun.
like cleaning tools and refining tools. Not
Well, we are cleaning a dirt stain off the face of the earth.
that yes, that's yes. Ink in this very skinny, bookish-looking elf researcher with round glasses. He, like I said, looks like a 35-ish-year-old human male, walks kind of briskly towards the big human-sized casket-like chest you have on the other table, almost at the middle of the room. He still has, like, he keeps the other eye on you, and like his gaze goes between you and the chest, because you promised him some artifact that somehow relates to his research. Or actually the mission.
Promise an artifact.
Yes.
Yes, alright. Is it time?
And
Be my guest.
Alright, so Inken has gone into the room. I would presume that he's walking towards the chest. With their back on me, as soon as everyone's inside and the last person closes the door, I whip out the staff and Shillilag bonk him to the back of the head, so he would hopefully stumble to the ground, and then I will activate spike growth to keep him prone.
Yep. Okay. So roll me melee attack with your wisdom.
Yes.
So dice plus proficiency plus wisdom.
Die. Alright.
This is gonna be a bonk.
It's
Yep.
gonna be a while. It's been a while since
Is it basically advantage since it's a surprise attack?
No, because he's aware of you guys.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's dice plus wisdom plus
Wisdom plus proficiency. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's
Quote unquote spell attack.
Basically.
Yep.
Oh,
not my
I hope
best.
they have no armor on.
No, they don't, but they still have some dexterity more than 10. So, unfortunately, your bonking goes a little bit wide, and Inken just barely dodges it with like 3 centimeters to spare, and it's like, hey!
But I will still
I see,
activate spike growth.
He moves away from you, but you can still pinpoint it to where he is. And he starts some sort of rant about, I should have known I couldn't trust you because of your... The only way I could make you work as intended is to make you work for me. And then his voice cut short when, even though the ground is stone, you can see green vines with sharp thorns just like rise from the ground, enveloping his legs and rising up over his knees.
I hope that didn't break the floor.
It most
Technically no. Technically no, because conjuration, but let's not go there.
Yeah.
so okay.
He
Mhm.
he jumps a little bit up so he doesn't take all the damage he could, but he's still caught up in the vines, and he tries to starts to make a mad scramble out of the vines, but like he's very bogged down as
At
per the
the-
spell.
Is
this
he,
point
is
can-
he still standing or
Ish.
Mhm.
With he's standing, but his point of balance is he's in a very wonky position.
yeah?
'Cause
Alright.
he
I whip out the staff and point it like at his chin.
yeah.
And we'll go.
Kintsugi, you were about to yeah.
Yes, Kintsugi.
Yeah. At this point, Kintsugi is like, she did keep her promise though about the artifact. And at this point, Kintsugi seems to sort of like writhe in pain in this human form, crouch a bit and slam its fist down to the ground as the disguise self fades away. Minor illusion to make more mechanical sounds as it slowly raises up into full height, looking like a bit rusty mechanical animatronic monstrosity right now. Hello.
Yeah.
Nice to
He's
finally meet you.
Clearly shaken by the fact that the researcher assistant just turned into a clearly mechanical humanoid creature with stone-covered ceramic skin
Yeah, which
And,
is currently broken.
mask. Yes.
Yeah, and the mask is broken in a way that one eye is showing. Actually, no, both eyes are showing at the moment, and the jaw is entirely showing. Like normally, the mouth and jaw are visibly like covered, but now they're showing, and they look like a mechanical skeleton almost.
Yep.
Oh, it's also a fun note that I think the assistant was like 1 meter and 60 centimeters or something like that.
Yeah.
Tiny.
And now it's literally 2 meters and 12 centimeters. Quite a height increase. Hello.
Alright, Inken. The situation.
Inken is in a very to say that he's in a precarious position with his balance is to undermine it, because he's trying not to stand on the ground because of the thorns, while trying to move as little as possible away from Kintsugi, while trying to move away from the shillelagh handed on his throat. So he just barely... You can almost hear the creaking of his spine when he does this almost limbo-style position as to not fall to the thorns and to move as far away from it as possible.
We didn't lie when we said it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
That you didn't, Professor.
The situation here now, dear cousin, is that you have been doing some things that I do not like. And you... alright, huh?
Well,
And
what?
right now you are in a position where in the blink of an eye we could obliterate you from this plane of existence. So you better start talking.
Well, what choice did I have? You wouldn't listen. You wouldn't do as instructed, and none of your family listened to what I had to say, what I had
Why would
found
we
out
listen
about
to
your
a
father's clan.
Why
I know
would
the
we-
clan's secret.
The only thing I know is that you came over, threatened me, threatened my family, and are just a little piece of shit who is putting some random person to do their dirty work.
What? Oh, okay. If you wanna think you're of yourself as a random person, that's fine by me. You didn't have much value, and what you did, you already lost.
At this point, I step in. I use suggestion. I'm saying, would you please stop using such drab language? An indoor voice, please.
What's your spell save DC?
14.
He looks at you like in this very precarious position and turns his eyes, and you can see a small flash in his eyes. He was just like, "Oh, okay, Professor. I'm sorry, Professor."
You continue.
And at this time, he also loses his balance, and you like his back was very arched, and you can see chonk, and you can hear like their thorns and spines on the ground ripping into his flesh and his cloak, and you can hear the start of a swear. You hear the first syllables of a swear in Arindian, but then he looks up and is like, "Damned!" Like, what? He turns it into this sort of very soft, childlike, a word that the child would use instead of a swear word. In Finnish, yep.
Like,
In Finnish, it would be
fudge!
yes. Sorry,
Yes.
Professor. And now he's lying back down in the thorns. And,
Alright. So now I would very much appreciate if you would enlighten me as to what the hell is going on with this scheme of yours. What family secret?
No, not the family secret. He's speaking through gritted teeth because once again he's lying in a bed of thorns. Not our family
Can't
secret.
hear you.
And he starts a meditative chant in Arindian. It's this sort of like a very traditional meditation chant. And he does it for 20, 30 seconds, and then he's like, I and my body are separate beings. I am Zen. And then he starts speaking through, ignoring the pain, and you can see from his face that he's concentrated on meditation to ascend the pain. Like I was about to say, it wasn't about the family. The family's fine. The bigger issue is that your father's clan has a secret and they haven't even told you.
Yeah, so what is it?
Have you ever wondered? Your father's clan has guarded the mountains for at least hundreds, probably thousands of years. No one, and I mean no one outside the clans, have been let there. Why?
I don't know. I don't care.
There's a reason why I am a researcher and you are, well, you. Scientific curiosity is my driving force, and as well as the two professors. The need to ask why. We've been living at the precipice of the biggest historical finds in the history of the island, if not this part of the world. And we're just like, okay, some monks in the forest are guarding it, we shouldn't go there. Why? I know the answer. I found it. There's a
Yeah?
reason why I have been done nothing but studying. I have lost a lot of my health and a lot of my, well, pretty much all my family and friends because I needed the answer. And the answer relates to the triumvirate, to the three protector, to three liberators. I believe that if not Edlan itself, their tombs are inside the mountain. And if their tombs are there, then there's the way to return these heroes to our troubled time.
Wait, so you're saying that the Clan Mountains have the gods buried in them?
Yes, well done, you figured it out. Good, cousin, very well done.
That sounds like a desperate measure to bring back old artifacts from the past. Then again, who am I to talk, but...
The thing is that most of the greatest things that are found on our island, they have already been made. The gods and their artifacts and stashes, they are already here. We just need to find them. His breathing is becoming very labored. His voice has gone down a couple of notches because he's in pain and suggestioned.
Yes.
But
I quickly ask if anybody happens to have a cure light wounds potion or something. Anybody have a potion or healing magic on them?
Lesser restoration, but I don't think that's good at the moment.
it doesn't heal, so
Yeah, it fixes some things, but...
druids always have. Druids probably have good berry.
Yeah,
Basically.
but he's not getting any.
Fair enough.
Now,
At least
what
now.
point would it serve to unearth these old relics, so to speak?
I start preparing some bandages.
Actually,
Well, I also
Oh,
have a
okay.
+4 in medicine.
unlike dear cousin here, I would want the island to return to its former, like, I would just want us to become better. I want to improve the island. And if it needs, if just, because we have all the tools we need. We have all the tools we need right here. We have all the information anyone could ever need right here. We have many of the sharpest minds on the island we have in the university. Why not use these resources to just return to the better days? when we didn't have to pay heed to a human god.
If you truly wanted to improve the situations here, you would have already used the knowledge to improve the basic structure of this place. What you're talking about right now is literally starting a war with ancient weapons of potentially mass destruction.
Yes, and when we have the weapons, we will win the war.
You hope to win the war.
Listen, Incan.
Or
In
your
war,
god.
there truly are no victors. And when it comes to weapons of mass destruction, well, let's put it this way. What point is there to be a fight over the island if the island might split or sink into the oceans itself? Would you prefer an ocean crater the size of Lumainvoir Island? With every single living being, by considering war with mass weapons, you would ensure the eradication of the Arundisen people and its beautiful language. It may be even beyond the bard's recollection.
We are talking. Okay, Professor, we're talking about items that eradicated illithids. What the hell do you think some random human theocracy has up compared to that? They have nothing.
Hello. Be careful what you speak.
Oh.
Sure are you that they have nothing?
They have their priests.
Trust me.
They have that one temple which they can't move.
Please, if it
And
comes to
pretty
matters
much-
of faith, all you would do is give them a clear enemy. A devil, if you will. A demon, a devil, a daemon, whatever you want to call them. To put it simply, you would end up ensuring that the theocracy will become worse. You see,
That is technically
the
true.
theocracy itself is not necessarily the enemy. It is the force that brought them here. They may have the one temple or two here, but our island is but a single molecule inside a drop of water in an ocean. The world is much larger than that. They most likely, some continent or another, have an army that will come for us. And when they do, not if, it's a matter of when they do, they will not think of us as kindly next time.
There's a reason why you're Professor Javik, but as much as I would like to continue, I think you can see his eyes turn in the back of his skull and his body going limp. And
Well, it's a
you
fair
can
one.
you can see a saturation of red enveloping the thorns close by to Inken.
Alright.
He's still breathing. You look for a couple of seconds. He's still breathing, but the breathing is very labored,
Okay.
almost like he's been bleeding a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna snap the
Would you mind
thorns
turning
away.
off the thorns?
At
Would you mind
this
turning off
point.
the thorns?
Yep. I'm gonna take them
Yeah.
off.
I grab the bandages, start bandaging the wounds.
Kinto's gonna come and help with that.
Does any one of you know any healing magic, by any chance?
Luckily, because the blood was on the thorns and you disconjured the thorns, most of the blood goes with it, so it doesn't stay as a freaking stain on the stone floor. So
Does
Yay!
anyone have prestidigitation?
Well, we could have always played it off as a unfortunate accident with the artifacts, so...
Someone
It's just hydraulic
ketchup.
fluid.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yep.
This but
Your arms off!
No, it isn't. But yeah,
Yeah. Actually,
feeble. Feeble was
I
the
do
word I was
have
looking
cure
for.
wounds, but
You wonder. I put my hand on your shoulder. Sometimes it's best not to lower oneself to the level of a fool. No matter how much you hate them, sometimes lowering yourself to their level does not make you much better than them. Show him kindness, and perhaps he'll grow kinder to you.
well, that.
And surely you weren't done with him.
Yeah, and when Saxton says maybe he will be more kind to you, then like Yewande's face goes into even more of a strong grimace of disgust. Like,
Trust me.
Don't worry, Yewande.
Helping them was
If
built
he turns out to be a chaotic element, I will purge him.
although if I do heal him, then I can make some delicious jabs at Auntie Karandra.
True.
Yeah.
Do heal him, please.
And if he dies, you can play the role of the unfortunate savior that you tried to save him.
True. Alright. This time. Cure wounds.
Just this once.
Just this once.
Yewande, you're a medical warrior.
This is manipulation of the worst kind.
Turn that frown upside down and let's heal ourselves an asshole.
Oh god.
Yep. The worst part of this is the fact that the manipulation is coming from the two mechanical persons in that group.
Yeah, well, people are just complex machines. So it's like would be
True.
a philosophical point, but so you have like cure wounds or something.
Yeah, I have cure wounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, you heal for some points. You can roll it if you already did.
I actually didn't.
Oh, okay, then it was the
How did the rolling go again?
2d8 plus wisdom.
2d8.
So exclamation mark 2d8
How big was
plus.
the cure wounds? Wasn't it 1d8 on first level?
No, 2d8 I believe.
Let me quickly check. Cure wounds 1d8 plus spellcasting.
1d8. Oh, sorry, yeah.
It scales
Second
with
level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every level it's more 1d8 more.
Yep.
Measly 7 points.
Yep.
Isn't that a total of 10 since you rolled a 7?
No, yes. 10, yes.
Total of 10.
Yep.
Well, at least he's not dead, I guess.
That's more than a villager's HP.
Yes. And he does just have just barely a little bit more than a villager. But yeah, you kneel down on him.
Up against the wall and try to kind of look at his face. Though
Yeah,
at the time the major image wears off.
I mean, the healing magics. Yewande sat down on the floor and just almost pretty much slapped, like softly slapped Incan, and you can see the healing magics just rub off her sleeve and into Incan, and just closing the wounds and draining, returning the blood to the veins and leaving. I mean, the clothes are still torn and there's some scars that probably will stay, but he's alive and breathing. And as Axton drags Incan up and towards the wall, he starts returning to his senses.
Essentially, I prop him up to sit so he can have some.
Yes.
Did you one day multi-class into a Way of the Mercy monk?
No. Yeah, one day, like, crossed arms, and then like tapping with the staff on the floor, like.
First thing he sees is the true form of Reykjavik, also known as Saxton. The bard.
Yeah, he sees Saxton's real face.
As in the mask.
Okay, just
It's
the
a
freaking
it's a very
Venetian
almost
mask thing.
not as fancy as the usual ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've envisioned his mask being this very colorful Venetian style mask that like extra covering, almost like the Venetian
the old peak
robots.
mask.
I
Is it
simply
the
put it
old-
so that I have many masks.
Oh, and that too, yeah.
So
But,
for
yeah.
use with the major image.
Yeah.
So it's simpler when there's not that many details to conceal.
Yep. Yep.
Make it easier.
Inken's like, what? Oh, what's this?
Welcome back, buddy.
He's very razzle-dazzle because, well, he just kind of almost died. And he's back.
Almost bled out
Yep.
to just some measly thorns.
Yeah, boy, you just fainted. That part in the machine, if it wasn't for Yawande, you would be dead right now.
I would assume that I would be dead because of her, but okay.
No. Can you believe it? The machine possessed her for a bit. Possessed them for a bit. Can you believe it? Must have been that dastardly Professor Reykjavik.
Oh.
Most handsome man I've ever seen.
Okay, so is Saxton like playing the blame game on Reykjavik and Kintsugi right now?
Yep.
Since Kintsugi is gonna act along and basically like go into like halfly emotional state and just stand straight, head slightly tilted,
Yes.
and eyes just blinking a bit.
So we are playing a scheme of Reykjavik attacking Inken and me saving him.
Yep.
Perfect.
Only bard.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, okay. Just who? Okay, who are you? And
Who am I? How do you not know me? I am not a mere bard. I am the bard. The Saxton.
Okay, I have books. I don't need bards. And
You call yourself a man of culture, a man of higher education? I am disappointed. You are an academic failure. You haven't heard me.
Technically, because I haven't spent my time partying, I don't have. I'm feeling a little bit dizzy. Okay, so the artifact was a bust. It is broken and unstable. Professor Belmont, maybe we should take it to cold storage or something.
Or maybe we should continue this conversation we started off here.
All yours, Professor Belmont. I stand up.
Yawande, did you have any more questions? Did you get things cleared up here?
Yeah, actually, the dastardly Reykjavik got some very interesting info out of you. You told us.
I remember being in a pain-induced or some sort of dream state filled with pain. Although, I don't know.
You told that you have figured out that the ancient gods' relics are hidden or buried in my family's mountains. And
biggest issue with using traditional meditation is that you're susceptible to like truth, and that's mad. But yeah, that's what I did. I figured it out. I have found proof and a possible way in.
Yes. But according to your stories, you are planning to use them as a catalyst to an island-wide war against the theocracy. Which would only be a total massacre.
We don't need to have a war. If we... it is said on one of the old texts, a dagger in the dark is worth 1,000 knives at dawn. 1,000 swords, something. I don't know, I'm not a martial person. But anyways, we use the tools given to us by the gods and take out their leaders. The rest will follow because they're sheeps.
Kintsugi, even though still motionless, the head suddenly just like yanks to the other side, like tilts with a loud creak.
It's still active? What the hell?
Just like a quick tilt.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's been activated like so many times that it's like dormantly active now and like does little twitches or something.
Twitches every now and then.
Yeah.
Hey, noob.
So, just being curious here, what was your plan with the staff that belongs to Harbinger?
It is a part of... My theory is that the staff and the sickle... No, wait, he doesn't... It is not a sickle and he wouldn't know about. Never mind. Forget anything about the sickle thing. My theory is that the staff was part of some piece of the Harbinger's arsenal. And it would either lead us to it or be a part of it. And if it's a part of a magical item, it would want to be whole again. And if it's just a key or something, then it would still help us. But we would have needed more information. And according to some old texts I have unearthed in the library, there is a temple up north. Unsure of the location, because the book was written 4,000 years ago, and I couldn't find cross references to names of places that we use now.
So you were looking to make it whole and use it?
Yeah. I mean,
how's that working out for you?
I have.
Yeah,
Did you really think this? Did you really think I would have bet all my money on her? I have contingencies.
Listen.
The piece of staff is here. I don't know what you're gonna do without it.
Listen,
I can get it back.
The only reason you're alive.
Surely try.
You're alive, not right now, only because you managed to shake off the control in time. Or you would have bled to death.
Well,
the common courtesy means that you owe them, and your honor means that you owe them your life.
Well,
it
if
would be
there's
better,
something...
and it would be easier to get all of us in on this plan of yours.
If there's some... Incan for the first time in pretty much ever, Incan looks with a soft, almost friendly face at Yawande. Well, if there's something good about you, it's... Well... you help family. And then he just cracks his shoulders, and he when you just risen up, you just crack yourself a little bit, and then he bows down and says a very honorful, very traditional Arundian phrase that translates to thank you for saving my life and blessings on your way.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
42.
Yeah. If this is like
hell.
a very
It's a very ceremonial thing.
yeah. So in that case, I would presume that there is like a ceremonially appropriate response, which is like standard. So yeah, Yolanda is like takes in a breath and just like does the thing that she knows is like the response to that.
Yep.
So, be that it may, that the artifacts, relics are buried in the mountains. It is still the lands of my family, my tribe. It is a holy land. And as a complete outsider, I see that you do not have the right to enter. And as a representative of my family, I will take on the responsibility of figuring out if truly these artifacts are buried in there, and then if they are found, then we will act in the best interests of the island and its inhabitants.
Iken's soft, friendly, or almost friendly expression has turned into a mask of indifference, and then he scowls with this sort of derisions, like he doesn't say anything out loud, but his facial features and just the posture is like, I knew you would have just, I knew you wouldn't understand. Sort of, he looks sideways at Tibi, and then he like, just lets his posture say what he doesn't dare say out loud. And there's just like does a sort of whatever sort of gesture with his shoulder. It's like, well, you have the staff and you have the basic information. Start digging. I really don't care. There's very little more I can do.
There's an entrance. Is it some kind of like secret back entrance, or?
Can you repeat that?
You said that you know that there's an entrance into the mountains.
Your audio keeps cutting off a little bit.
Ah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So.
I mean. Yeah, I mean. There's a couple of old texts that mentioned some labyrinthine passages down the mountains and into its core, but they're very old and very subjective, romanticized.
All right.
They could probably be used by someone smart and academic to figure out the real path.
Yeah, alright. Well, I think that can just be found by, as you said, digging. Well then. As long as you stop your little schemings and stop like threatening my family, then I believe that we are done here. don't ever step into the lands of the mountain.
It's
Don't send anyone in there, please, as well.
There's an echoing or else sound in the air as Kinsuke's eyes seem to focus again on, well, the
Hi.
cousin.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's like a literal echo from like illusions or something. Okay.
Minor illusion.
Well, promise for a promise. I won't send anyone to the mountains, and I won't physically step on it. On the paths leading up the mountain.
And another
That's an odd way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
an odd request for you. Incan, could you supply me with a copy of your research on this subject? You have my oath as a bard that I shall not repeat it.
I really don't care about the oath of a bard because, well, you're just an entertainer. How about your oath, Professor? If I copy my research, do you swear on oath that you won't spread it?
Outside of this group, yeah, sure, it's your research. I have no interest in taking a risk of being discovered for fraud or
Plagiarism?
anything unethical within the university.
Then yeah, I will supply a copy of reference materials and some notes I've taken, because some of the reference materials are old and rambly as all hell. You know how it is with like 3,000-year-old books. They're just blah de blah de blah.
We know.
Yeah, give me a couple of days. I'll send the copies to your office, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Also, I will see to it that you will not harm in any way, shape, or form a member of my family. Or I will hear about it.
Well, you were on the other side of the world, and you still heard it without any oath. So I'm assuming the families, both the family and the clan, will keep an eye out on me. So I don't.
And do note a little advice. Family, something rare. You cannot always choose whom becomes your family member, but you should still cherish them, lest you lose them. Cherish them as long as they are here.
Assuming you needed them in the first place, but that's.
No. It's not about necessity. It's about family. It is
Of course it's
something
about
rare
necessity.
that you have.
Of course, it's about
Appreciate it.
necessity. You bard person, you have things in your life that you need, and then you have things in your life that you don't need, and
Just
only
get your
yourself.
head out of your ass.
Thank you, Professor Belmont. And I lift out my hand for like a high five.
High five provided.
You can see if you can see this sort of features of facial features of a student that has been disciplined by a teacher, and the only reason why the student isn't getting berserk is the fact that the teacher is still present. Inken looks at you guys with disgust and loathing, a little bit less on the professor, then bows and steps, like, with your permission, Professor.
Grabbing
I
quickly
will
by
go
the
start
shoulder.
on the copies.
turn him around so I may talk with him for a bit, drag him to the side. Now listen carefully here. You may think bars are mere entertainers, but the fact of the matter is we shape history. You merely play a part in it. If you do not, you better do as Professor Belmont says, and take that head under your ass and get your attitude in place. And treat your cousin a bit better because, worst case scenario, your family's name, fortune, and history will be dragged to the mud to such a degree that it will never grow back. Unless you want to be remembered as a buffoon.
In the same way, Saxton previously came insanely. Actually, it was Reykjavik who came insanely close to Inken's physical personal space. Inken gets very close to Saxton's physical space, with almost their noses touching noses, and he's like, "I know exactly what history will remember me, real history, and not shaped history as such made by clowns like yourself. I will treat my family in the way they deserve." And then he turns 180 and starts walking out.
There's an
Hello.
echo. There's an
Better
echo
a
again.
clown than a false king.
There's an echo again from Kintsugi's side. Well, close to Kintsugi. Kintsugi's still motionless, but the family and you can also disappear from history altogether.
Ooh.
Well, this was a nice chat. I'll be expecting that research on my table in 2 days.
Do note, I whispered that stuff to him.
Yeah.
Oh. Do I need to roll perception?
Yep.
Does someone else want to roll stealth?
My point was to kind of take him to the side to talk.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah. Yoinks. I should use the bot for this. Well, how does what?
Have a master bard and mere man conversation.
Let's see, do I know how to use this bot? I hope I do. If I don't, well, forget my notice. 18.
Yep. You heard, because Inken didn't mute himself, you heard the part of treat family as they are deserving. And you could answer that with the echo. So yeah. That works. And when TB said stuff about 2 days, he just made this sort of aye sir
Aye,
sort
sir.
of gesture walking
Roger.
out of the Roger. Yeah. I think this is a good place to call this session for
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Next time I'll be feeding the blades with most likely deer blood.
Yeah. So that was intense and that was amazingly cool. And this just goes to show that, like, some people enjoy D&D and role-playing games for combat, but then there are us who enjoy more the social and emotional things. To each their own.
Yep.
Yeah, and also it was quite a rare occurrence because it was actually kinda almost combat with this
Almost.
party. Almost.
Yeah. Got
And
close.
also one that we started.
That's also true.
That's true.
We also finished it.
Before it started.
True.
Yep. Next time when Inken has his mech suit, and you will meet over the skyline of the capital in your own mech.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
We'll have like ginormous mech fight outside the capital or something.
Boy.
I don't know.
This is
Yeah.
going
Don't
Gundam
threaten
real
us
quick.
with a good time.
Yeah. Then some Voltron music or something. I don't know. Yeah, so that was awesome. I would ask if whether the players had fun, but that was kind of like self-explanatory.
Definitely.
That you had.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we
Definitely.
do.
Hopefully, whether you as a viewer watch this live or as an after VOD thing, hopefully you had fun. But please, by any means, if you have any feedback on this session in particular, send it to me with Facebook, Twitter, or email, because I really want to know how it was for you as a viewer. I'm gonna make some articles and videos about background stuff that you will get more out of this, out of all this lore and name dropping. But in the meantime, we will continue this story in a couple of weeks, in 2 weeks' time, when the fallout of Inken's falling out. Didn't plan on the pun, but yeah, in 2 weeks we'll continue with what happens next and what happens with the research and what you guys will do with it. And next week we will continue the Finnish campaign Uskonnolla with a group in going even into more deeper waters in the capital. Because who can you trust and who you can't? That's paranoia. And yeah, if you like this sort of D&D content, follow the channel and share it to your friends. And yeah, like I said, any feedback is appreciated. Yeah, that's everything from me for now. Next week, Uskonnolla. In 2 weeks, more emissaries, shenanigans. And yeah, stay safe, stay vigilant, and may the dice ever roll in your favor.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.